Peace be upon you. How are you all? I hope you are doing well. Today's recipe is pasta with cream and sauce, also known as pink sauce. It's delicious, appetizing, and quite unique. I will prepare it with a special sauce that you are not used to, but I promise it will be the best. And it will be the best pasta you serve to your families with pink sauce. Now, let's move on to the method. We start with 2 chicken breasts, cut into pieces. The amount of chicken depends on your preference. I add a cup of milk for marination, along with 3 tablespoons of vinegar. The vinegar gives a slightly sour taste, making it distinctively wonderful. You can adjust the quantity as you like. I also add half a teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of either white or black pepper, half a teaspoon of thyme, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of cumin. These are the spices we will mix until the ingredients are well combined. After mixing the spices, we put it in the fridge and leave it overnight, or at least for 4 hours. Now, to prepare the sauce, we have 3 tablespoons of olive oil. I add a large spoonful of tomato sauce, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of pepper, a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of oregano, 1 medium-sized onion, chopped, and 4 cloves of garlic, chopped. I roast them over medium heat until the smell starts to emanate. Continue mixing and stirring until you get a delicious smell. Now I have 4 grated tomatoes, and you can also use canned tomatoes. Here, I used 4 peeled and blended tomatoes with a hand mixer. It's always best to use peeled tomatoes so the sauce is very smooth. After all the ingredients are mixed, I add about a quarter cup of water and continue to stir and cook it until we reach the desired consistency and most of the liquid from the sauce has evaporated. Transfer it to a low heat. As I told you, continue cooking it for about 10 minutes or until most of the liquid has evaporated. Now, it's time to strain the chicken from the mixture we marinated it in, leaving the excess milk behind. Now, I prefer to prepare it with butter and olive oil, which is also healthy at the same time. I put a piece of butter and a little olive oil and add the chicken. I cook the chicken on very high heat so that the juices do not come out of the chicken and it remains dry. I cook it on high heat and do not leave it for too long. Leave it until it takes color from the bottom and start flipping. And as I told you, it does not take much time to cook, just about 5 to 6 minutes. And it is ready because the chicken is cut into small pieces. So, it does not take much time, and this method makes it very delicious and appetizing, and pure from the inside. Now, I add a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce if available, but if not, you can omit it or replace it with soy sauce, but I prefer Worcestershire sauce. After the chicken is cooked and ready, I set it aside. And also the sauce is ready. This sauce is delicious, unique, and incredibly flavorful, like a fantasy. I promise you will never do without it. After mixing it and it becomes smooth, pour it over the pasta with 1 cup of cream and add 1/3 of a cup of the sauce initially. I put 1/3 of a cup and watch the color. If I think it needs more, I add more. Large chunks of butter, equivalent to a large spoonful, and also an equivalent of a large spoonful of olive oil. This sauce gives the pasta a wonderful, amazing taste, and also makes the pasta moist. We put the chicken on the sauce and stir. Then we add the boiled pasta. Here, I used 400 grams of boiled pasta, and note here that the pasta should be boiled to complete doneness because we only stir it here. Also, now here, I add another cup of the sauce, and as I told you, the amount of sauce is optional until you reach the color you want. Put the amount of sauce you want. At the beginning, I put 1/3 of a cup. Now I put another 1/3 of a cup. Then stir a little, and do not continue to cook the pasta too much on the fire. And note that the pasta should be hot and not cooled at all. Put it directly after boiling in the sauce, because cooling the pasta does not allow it to absorb the sauce and soak it. But if it is hot, it absorbs the sauce and gets a wonderful taste and amazing tenderness. Also, here the chicken is delicious, tender, and pure from the inside. I strongly advise you to try this recipe. And if you liked the recipe, do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also share the video with those you love and your friends. See you in the next recipe.